We all know the saying, diamonds are a girl's best friend. What girl doesn't love a nice shiny diamond ring or necklace to add to her jewelry collection? But also, we all know that diamonds can be incredibly expensive, and it can be difficult to afford to buy them, let alone insuring them and making sure you take care of them properly. This is why many people often end up buying fake diamonds. They can look almost as nice and are much more affordable. But for one woman, when what she thought was a fake diamond turned out to be something very different, her life changed forever. Before we start, can we get this video to 1,000 likes? Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It all started back in London, England, during the 1900 AE. One woman was having a perfectly normal day and decided to stop by a car boot sale at West Middlesex Hospital in West London. While she was there, her eye was caught by a particularly large and pretty-looking fake diamond ring. It wasn't the most convincing, because it wasn't that shiny or bright, but nonetheless, this shopper decided that this lovely piece of costume jewelry would be perfect for her collection. She had no idea that she was about to seal her own fate. If you haven't heard of a car boot sale before, it's basically the British equivalent of a yard sale or flea market. People gather in a parking lot or similar area and set up stores to sell their second-hand items out of their trunks, called boots in British English. It's well known that you can find real bargains at these sorts of sales. So this woman knew what she was doing when she managed to barter this ring down to a $15 price tag. She knew she got a good deal, but she had no idea the truth of the item she had just purchased. And so after this woman bought her ring, she wore it pretty much every day for almost 30 years. Not only did this woman wear a ring almost every day over these years, but she also wore it while she was out and about doing her everyday activities. For many years after buying the ring, this woman wore it happily for her everyday activities in regular life. She loved it so much that she didn't ever think about what it might actually be worth in terms of money. She just knew it was valuable to her as a much-loved accessory. But one day, about 30 years after she first bought it, a jeweler glanced at the ring and advised her to get it checked. Because this jeweler thought that this humble ring might actually be worth more than the woman had originally thought. And so she headed off to the renowned auction center in London, Sotheby's, to ask them if they could help work out the true value of this ring. No one had any idea what they were about to discover. Of course, once they brought the ring into Sotheby's for testing and valuation, they were one step closer on their quest to find out the truth about this much-loved item of jewelry. But the truth was, the ring was so rare and special that even Sotheby's needed a bit of extra help. So just what exactly would they find across the pond? When the ring came back from the testing center, everyone was utterly amazed to find out the true results. Because this ring that had been part of the woman's favorite jewelry collection and had been wearing for 30 years, the ring she had assumed was some sort of costume item, was in fact a very real diamond ring. In fact, not only was it a genuine diamond, but it was a whopping 26-carat diamond. And that's not the only amazing thing they discovered. As you can imagine, the woman was utterly amazed by the true nature of what she had thought for so many years was just a normal ring. The testers explained that this diamond was not only a 26-carat one, but that it was a cushion-shaped white gem. And not only that, the testers also revealed that the precious jewel could date back as far as the 19th century. The woman was utterly in shock. How could they know that just from looking at it? After all, she'd had that ring on her finger for the best part of 3 decades. How could she possibly not have realized just how rare and beautiful this diamond really was? It's amazing to realize that we, as regular people, simply don't have the expertise to realize that a true piece of genuine precious stone could be part of our everyday jewelry collection. And that's not even the only reason this woman didn't realize the truth of her very special ring. The other reason was because the ring was made in the 19th century, a time when diamonds were cut incredibly differently. So just what was so different about diamonds in those days? Wyndham revealed that back in those times, diamond cutting was slightly duller and deeper than you would see in a modern style. Not only that, but she went on to say that the way it was cut could trick people into thinking it's not a genuine stone. But it doesn't make sense. Why would someone cut a diamond to make it look less valuable? The truth is, Today we look at the value of a diamond in a very different way than people used to in the 19th century. To understand how this ring could have been created so differently, we have to look at how times have changed in the diamond business over the centuries. Windham opened up about how the industry works today, explaining that the diamond cutter is looking to maximize the amount of brilliance from the stone because that's what makes it sparkling. But we hear you ask, aren't diamonds always sparkly? Were diamond merchants in the 19th century not interested in sparkle? It's amazing to think that nowadays what constitutes a valuable diamond is its brilliance and sparkle. But back in the 19th century, things were seen very differently. Windham explained that the priority was put on weight and size rather than sparkliness. After this amazing discovery, everyone was in shock at the true nature of this diamond ring. And so people couldn't help but wonder, just how common was it to discover an everyday diamond is in fact a real gem? Windham revealed that not only was this a very unusual occurrence, but in fact, it hardly ever happens. The story of the diamond was of course amazing enough in itself, but everyone still wanted to know the true question of the mystery. Just how much was this surprising mystery diamond really worth? And so to find out, the ring was handed over to Sotheby's, who prepared it for auction. Once the stone would be sold under the hammer, its true worth would finally be revealed. So, how much did the ring end up costing? In June 2017, Sotheby's held an auction to sell this rare find, and as it turns out, the ring was sold for a bit more than expected. Can you believe it? According to Sotheby's official Twitter account, the ring was sold for a whopping PS $657,000. That's more than $900,000 US. So regularly and casually for so many years, could really secretly be worth almost $1 million. It really makes you want to clear out your attic and look for some hidden gems, doesn't it? And so for the owner of the ring, just what was in store for the rest of her life. Though she had undeniably been through an amazing experience, and her story of her much-loved ring's journey and its hidden value had hit headlines across the world, this woman made an unusual choice when it came to telling her story. Though she was happy for the world to know what had happened, this woman chose to remain anonymous, letting only her story be reported on, without revealing the truth of her identity. Why would this woman not want to come forward with her name? The truth was, even though the owner of the ring was delighted by what had happened, she didn't want her identity to be plastered all over the newspapers and have everyone know her name. This might have been because she was a little shy, or because she didn't want to invite security risks by publicizing her sudden wealth. It's amazing to think that this woman simply picked up what looked like a bargain bin ring and slipped it on her finger all those years ago. When you buy a cheap piece of jewelry, what are the chances that you hang on to the item for so many years, not taking it off your finger for almost 3 decades? When you think about it, it's an amazing piece of luck that she didn't just lose this secret gold mine at some point over the years. The story of this woman and her secretly super valuable ring spread far and wide throughout the world. The truth is, we all like to fantasize that one of our everyday objects could end up bringing us fabulous wealth. But as if that wasn't enough, this now famous car boot sale also had some other hidden gems on that fateful day all those years ago. We all love to dream of one day accidentally stumbling on a great wealth or uncovering a long-hidden secret of the past. In this woman's case, she ended up inadvertently doing both and hitting headlines around the world. The truth was, this woman was not looking for fame or wealth or glory. It simply fell into her lap as she went about her everyday life. It just goes to show that for each of us, no matter what walk of life we may be in, a miracle can happen to each and every one of us.